Welcome back, everyone, to episode number 32 of the Asset Reza podcast. Today's a very special episode because I've got the boss on the show today, which is Sameem Mohamed, who's our broker of record and our owner, and has got a lot of experience in the real estate industry. So thank you for coming on, Sameem. I appreciate it.
Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you. I've known you for almost about, I would say, a decade now.
Yeah,
and,
more than a decade.
More than that, right? Yeah. So when I first got started, I remember you had come and we had met, and I joined the brokerage back in 2014, and 2024 now. So full circle.
Decade then, yeah.
But thanks for coming on. I want to get you on the show because you've got a wealth of knowledge and experience, and we'll discuss, tips on investments, how you got started in the industry, what you can recommend for home buyers despite prices being so high in Toronto and Ontario. But I think my audience will definitely learn a lot from your experience. So without further ado, if you can just kind of introduce yourself, talk to the audience as to how you got started, when you came to Canada, and how you got into the real estate industry specifically.
Sure, I love to share that knowledge what I have. I'm a professional engineer. I was working as an engineer and decided to carve in real estate. So in 2005, I left engineering and straight came to a real estate and became a real estate salesperson. Then soon as I started as a salesperson, my motivation just came from my love houses, designing.
Nice.
So I wanted to start my own brokerage and development, construction, all in real estate, everything to do with the real estate. So I started in 2005 late, and I would say 2006. I only did exactly 43,000 in sale.
Okay.
So I did market, almost spent 30,000.
Yeah.
Out of 43 to market myself. For the following year, it jumped almost 400%.
Wow.
To 180,000. And so 2 years I worked for different home life. Then another 2 years I wanted to switch it to different brokerage and see what they're offering, and I moved to Remax for 2 years. Then from there I started my brokerage after 4th year.
Wow.
I started with the one person, and now you could see 250 plus agent within 5 years, and with the 3 branches.
Yeah.
That's the main branch, one in Mississauga and one in Ajax.
Right.
And now also have a construction company and development company. I have built many custom home and smaller development, and you could witness this building to commercial.
Yeah, the building we're sitting in right now was part of your development. So how did you transition from being a real estate agent and going straight into the development side of things? Was it experience you had from before, or just your love for it?
Not at all. It's a love for it. I love to design homes. So while I was working, I became a broker of record and helping other real estate agent like you. I remember when you came from Home Life too, then we discussed about how to improve. Now I remember discussing, don't jump too fast, just go 25% every year, and I could see your growth.
Right.
And so then while doing this, when I started brokerage, at the same time I had a development, bought a land and severed into 2 pieces and building 2 houses.
Nice.
That's in my first project in Pickering.
Right.
Then I started a brokerage and medical center at the same time. So I could not do all together. So I sold that project to another person and concentrated and started building my real estate brokerage. Yeah. After a few years, then back again into development.
So you mentioned talking about how you started off by buying a smaller piece of land, you built a couple of homes. For someone, let's say like myself, who wants to get started in a small-scale development, how do you recommend someone get started, given that I don't have any experience in development? Like, how did you learn about that, and how would you get started?
Yeah, the experience comes from your doing it,
okay.
Right? Or you work with somebody else. Right. If you're working with somebody else, you need to be employed. They won't teach you, right? Unless you have your parents or good friend who are a builder or developer, they will say, come along, and you can tag along with them to learn.
Right.
But if you are your own, you're doing a real estate, nobody wants to teach you. So you learn by probably you buy one really run down house and rebuild it, then you will learn all the process there, or buy a new lot. I usually go with the land.
Yeah.
I look for house with the land that you can sever into two pieces and keep one and build the other one. Then you can knock down and build the other one, or you can simultaneously build two houses.
Yeah.
The more profitable for investors, and I know you might gonna ask the questions, is rather than buying a condo and a house, buy a house with the land in it.
Yeah.
Usually there's a two component to the house.
Right.
I would say property, real estate property. One is the land, one is the house. The land value appreciate and the house value depreciate. Overall, if we say house price went up, mean it's not the house price. Houses usually goes down, but the land value
It's the land,
goes
the value
up.
goes up. Yeah. Yeah. Gotcha. And then in terms of, I would say, okay, so right now looking at the landscape in the GTA, when you bought, land was obviously a lot cheaper, right? Do you think it's worth maybe expanding the region and maybe looking outside of Toronto if you want to purchase land and build, or is that risky?
Sure. Always GTA, right? Especially downtown or Toronto is the most expensive,
Right.
but that's where you get the most profit.
Yeah.
If you go further to the east or north or west, you can get it for a little cheaper,
Right.
but the profit also same,
Yeah.
percentage wise, right? So I always stick to my principle within 100 kilometers.
Right.
Now particularly I'm sticking to not even 100 kilometers
Yeah.
east end of GTA. I haven't built any house in Mississauga, all in Scarborough, Pickering,
Yeah.
Markham, and this. There's so many opportunities here.
Right.
Why do you run? But I do have a few development projects on the Durham region.
Right. When you were building these homes or when you bought the piece of land, what were some of the challenges that came your way? Especially the first time, like you said, you have to learn, you have to do it to learn, right?
Yeah.
So were there any challenges that you faced in that process, or was it all smooth from the beginning?
You always have a challenge.
Right.
You are already doing a real estate, then one is time,
Yeah.
right? And you be on top of it, everything what you are doing. For example, first project, I only bought the land with the house in it.
Yeah.
It's for 250,000 in Finch Avenue. I still remember, I think 853 and 855.
Right.
This is just a little east of White's
Yeah.
Avenue. So it was like a 98 by 200 lot. So right away put application into sever into two parcel,
Right.
and 48 by 200 and built two houses.
Right.
But as I mentioned, halfway through I sold to
Right.
somebody else and made a decent profit at that time. 100,000 is still a
Yeah.
good profit. 280, 250. I sold to 389.
Right.
After all the expenses, I was able to make 100,000. Now
Wow.
it's like you could simply say 500,000 to 800,000 value.
Man, that was a good time to
Yeah.
buy, for sure. I guess right now for new investors who are looking to get into land development, obviously the GTA, it is a bit more expensive. So would you recommend people coming together and doing a joint venture and then buying a piece of land or a home?
That's the easiest way.
That's the easiest
Right
way,
now,
yeah.
usually for land, getting financing is very difficult.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can get it with a 50% down payment. Other 50 you can go to either bank. Bank usually doesn't do it. You can go to specific lender.
Yeah.
They do construction financing and land financing. A bit expensive.
Right.
Now used to be 7-8%. Now almost 12%.
Oh, wow.
Right.
Okay.
So the carrying, because you have to be careful.
Right.
But always the value, long as you buy a good piece of land.
Yeah.
So if you could develop, the value can be double, some cases triple.
Right.
So you have to be careful. Very important part.
What is it about like land itself that makes it such a high appreciating investment? Like, what is it about land like that?
It's like a gold, right?
It's like, okay.
Gold, at least you can still harvest in Africa and other places.
Right.
They have a certain amount still you can dig, but land there's no
You
land.
can't make land.
Yeah, God doesn't produce land anymore. Actually, land has been diminishing,
Right.
under CEO, right? So because of everybody wants, especially in GTA,
Right.
there's a tons of land. You can buy 1,000-acre land for 100,000 in far north. So what are you going to do with it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It takes at least 7-8 hours to travel. The more you close to the downtown or the transportation and everything, and it's more expensive.
Right. And then do you find that when you do purchase land, let's just say if you find a piece of land that's maybe 10, 20 acres, or even like 5 acres, but the zoning might be agricultural or may not be ready yet to build, is investing in that piece of land worth it? Can you rezone that, or does it take a very long time?
No, it's some time you cannot even rezone it. It's
Okay.
part of your due diligence. You need to find out. I know a lot of people, they love to buy land. They bought 10, 15, 20 acres in Durham region, and they cannot do anything because those are protected, environmentally protected.
Right. Why would they buy it in the first place then? Just for...
They didn't know.
They didn't know, okay.
ask for. Nobody guided them. Right. I have a few friends. They are sitting on a land for last 20 years.
Yeah.
They appreciate it. They don't lose, but it's not appreciated that much for the development.
Right. Okay.
And you can only build one houses in some area.
Yeah. So I guess switching from land now to residential real estate investment. So my target audience, or a lot of the people that listen to this podcast, are younger people that want to invest, but they don't have the money right now because the GTA is so expensive. What are some advices or tips that you can give to an investor who wants to get their foot into the door and buy something that's going to appreciate down the road?
One you mentioned already, part of your questions, like few friends together, brothers together, they pull the money and buy it. Other option, for example, you don't need to have the whole money for any kind of investment.
Right.
This building, when I was building, I didn't have all the money. It's like took 2 or 3 smaller partners. Yeah. Then when we needed extra money, we asked investors. They invested, and after building is constructed, we pay them out with the profit. So long as there's something for everyone, they will love to invest.
Right.
Yeah, as long as you have to be careful and have to be a little known in the community or within your friends, so long as they can trust you.
Right.
So you bring them as a partner or investor.
Yeah.
Or you can borrow from your family and friends and
use
that money.
That's something that a lot of people are doing nowadays. Even myself, I remember my first investment, which was not in the GTA. It was me and a couple of my friends. We just put some money together, and at the time, people were telling me that you should buy it on your own because then you have to split the profits. But in my mind, I'm like, I'm okay to split the profits if I can get in early, because 5 years, 10 years from now, if I waited to buy my own, that property price would have probably went up by 100,000, and I would have lost the same amount. So I think getting in early, doing joint venture is going to be more common nowadays, especially in GTA. That's something that I'm trying to promote and push to the younger investors, especially nowadays.
Yeah, that's the only way.
Yeah.
You could save some money.
Right.
If you have money on there rather than buying a brand new car, you can still buy it if you want. But when you have money in your hand, always your tendency to spend or lend it to somebody, or you don't see that money after 10 years. Even if you keep that 100,000 2 years, it's not 100,000. With the inflation, it would be like 95,000 or 90,000.
Correct.
So rather you invest in real estate that will grow. Yeah. So there's a saying in real estate: if you are thinking about buying, don't think. Buy and think about it by the time the house price gone up.
I like that one. We'll clip that one for sure. Yeah. So when you started as a real estate salesperson, what was the average price at that time, and how did you foresee this boom coming at that time?
Always foresee. Not only that, even now. Let me start with your question. Is around 250 to 300,000, that range. Right?
Yeah, that was the average price.
Average price, wow. Right? In to make 180,000 at my second year,
Yeah.
I had to sell almost 40 or something
Wow.
homes.
Okay.
Now, for 180,000, 5, 6, 7 homes, right?
You can make that.
At that time, always everything is, how would I say, 20 years ago, 200,000 is expensive, and the down payment bringing is expensive.
Right.
Now, still 1.2 million. If you could buy a house in Scarborough or east end of Toronto, still good.
Really? Okay. Yeah.
10 years from now, you'll be talking about, wow, I should have bought it at
Yeah.
1.2. Now it's $4 million,
Right.
so $3 million, right? So time fly every time it will become expensive.
Right. Actually, that was my next question is, let's just say we're in 2024 right now, 2034, you think that $1.2 million home will hit the 2 million mark?
Easily.
Yeah.
But the last, I would say, 15 years I'm in this business.
Right.
No, actually a little more than 15. I came in 2005, now close to 19. 15 years as running a brokerage. So that's, I remember, 18, 19 years, it tripled. So every 7 years, typically double.
Yeah.
Some cases, the last few years is double.
Yeah.
But if any house was 300,000 10 years ago, now 1.2 million, 400% up.
Right.
Yesterday, a person came in here as a real estate agent. He took a license, haven't done much driving truck. Now he wants to become a real estate.
Yeah.
And he bought a house for like 285,000. Now he has in Markham over 1.2 million in equity. But he's scared to go use that money to invest.
Right.
I told him, no, don't get scared.
Yeah.
Take some money. At least you could have bought another 2 houses and have a cash flow.
Right.
That 5 years from now, you would make another $1 million.
Yeah. No, that's good advice, and that's something that I always tell my investors, and I have to tell myself as well, because you're always afraid to deploy cash, especially if it's hard-earned savings. But my philosophy is that, if you're not over leveraging yourself and you have amount that you're willing to give away, and so you know what, if I were to lose it, it's okay. At least there's no regrets. And I think most people miss out on that opportunity because they're too scared to take that first step. But those people that did take that first step, what I realized is that 5 years, 10 years later, they're like, I'm so glad I did, right? And those that didn't, they're like, I wish I did. But I always say it's never too late. There's always opportunities. So even I miss out on opportunities, but at least, like you say, never late than better, right? So
Exactly. Especially, I don't think you will lose out in
Yeah.
real estate, because real estate is the only place like a gold, oil, and real estate, like a precious metals.
right,
And real estate, you won't lose out.
yeah,
Maybe you might not gain the profit you wanted, but I haven't seen anybody lose out in buying and holding it.
right,
Right? It's always hard to hold it,
Yeah.
but if we can hold a few years, maybe 5, 10 years,
Yeah.
and I went on a vacation in January.
yeah,
I was speaking to a guy from Chicago.
Yeah.
He came as well. He said he has 142 doors. I was surprised. What do you mean doors? He said, 142 units.
yeah,
They use the money, take out, buy more houses, and they
Right.
become a big corporation.
wow, nice,
142 houses is a lot.
That's a
I
lot,
even
yeah.
heard one of our agent, Rita's client or somebody now, and have over 400
yeah,
homes.
wow. So it's possible.
It is
Yeah,
possible.
It's possible.
You use
Yeah.
your money, keep rotating
Right,
the money. It's always the people winner is a risk taker,
risk takers, yeah,
right?
yeah,
But rather than taking a risk on something else, starting a pizza store or restaurant and lose out,
yeah.
real estate there's no risk at all, I would
Right.
say.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. No, absolutely right. Just the last couple of questions for you. So, you've done so well for yourself in the last 20 years, and I've always been inspired by your story
Thank you.
personally, and I really, really appreciate what you've done for me, because when I first came into brokerage, the reason why I switched over was because I needed that more, one-on-one interaction from the broker and from the owner. And I can honestly say, it's been 10 years in this brokerage, and every time I give you a call, you always pick up the phone and you always answer my questions.
Thank you.
And I never have to worry about, where's Sameem, or I need this or that, and just, I mean, you're a busy guy, but you always get back to us, and that really means a lot.
That's our primary, basically, business, like how you look after your client.
Right.
My direct client is you guys,
Right.
So we teach you, or we show you how to make money and take a percentage, right? And as a part of, I haven't said, I used to make, as a real estate agent, for 10 years ago, 250 to 300,000.
Right.
I said, I'm running around all evening and weekend.
Right.
Why don't I sit and teach people how to make it?
Yeah.
And make the same amount or more, or staying at home, or I mean, staying at office, and at the same time, you're helping other real estate agent.
Absolutely. Yeah. And what would you say? What attributed to the hard work and success? What was the main primary driver that, never allowed you to kind of just sit around and do nothing, but you were always, working hard? What was the cause of that?
I think it's just maybe came from my dad's background. He's Indian. He came to Sri Lanka, and I worked hard. So I thought I probably caught up from him from the small age. I always have done smaller business. Even school time, I would buy something, and sell something. I never thought I would that would benefit, but it is. Right? Always, as you're saying, trade is one of the best things to do. Right? Either whatever the trade. Even some people in restaurant. Real estate and development, all. When we came to real estate, it's always you just buy and hold one house, 10 years, you're a millionaire already. Right. There's more millionaires made in real estate than anywhere else.
Yeah, that's true. There's no secret sauce. I mean, the secret ingredient is hard work, I think. Right?
Hard work and take a little bit of risk.
Yeah.
Calculated risk. I just remember now. Yeah. Risk, right? If for younger people like you or your friends, whoever, you can take a risk up to 40 years old, right? But I did, whatever the money I put a risk and used it for development. Right. Now I hit 50, right? So I wanted to spend half of my wealth to long term and half into investing in. You can take a risk. Right. Risk mean. It's called calculated risk. You don't need to take a risk, startup, even a startup company, if you put money into 4 or 5 different companies, a small amount, at least one will pick up, you still make that money. Yeah. But real estate, no brainer.
Right. No, I think that's probably the best way to wrap this up. Thank you so much, Sameem.
You're really welcome. Appreciate it. I hope I did.
No, you were awesome. You were awesome. And I mean, your humbleness is amazing. And that's what I really admire about you the most, by the way. You're always humble despite your success. So thank you for that. And thank you for inspiring us. And for any new agents who are looking to come into a fantastic office, I've been here 10 years and I can vouch for Sameem and his staff here. Absolutely fantastic. So reach out to us, reach out to him, and we'll see you in the next episode. Thank you so much.
Thank you.